Remember, guys, never forget this. In order to have a transaction, you must have a buy and a sell. You can't ever really say that there's more buying than selling, because every transaction is equal, a buy and a sell. That's what makes a transaction. You can't just have a one-sided transaction. This is just a buy and this is just a sell. No, a buy and a sell, and it's always equal. You can have more supply and demand, but you can't have more buying than selling, ever. So buying and selling is always equal. Now take that reality, take that fact to the next level. There's someone always on the other side of your trade. Whenever you're buying, someone is selling it to you. Whenever you're selling, someone's buying from you. The $64,000 question is, who's smarter at this moment in time? Is it you, or is it the person on the other side of your trade? I believe that if you keep your mindset rooted in the fact that it's people that we trade, not stocks, not companies, as Warren Buffett says, we're not trading companies. You don't get any of the money. And when you buy a stock, you don't own the company, as the theory goes. Try buying 100 shares of Microsoft and walk in Microsoft's headquarters claiming that you own the joint, and see how fast you aren't thrown out on the street in a little tushy, if not thrown in jail. That's all theory. No, we're buying and selling people. We're playing their emotional cycles. The cycle that forever vacillates between fear and greed. That's what we're playing. And if you keep your mindset rooted in the fact that you are buying and selling people, you won't get as confused as the people who start to focus on numbers and management and products and sales ratios, PE ratios, and all of that other nonsense. You have to be able to spot greed in the market and fear. You know how to identify greed and fear. You have good odds of doing well in this business. More specifically, you have to become skilled at identifying the baton pass between fear and greed. So if greed has the baton and it's running its race at the time, at what point does greed pass the baton to fear? And now fear has the baton and begins to run its race. What does the market look like at the baton pass? There's a moment, there's an instant when greed has his hand on the baton, and as he passes the baton to fear, fear puts his hand on the baton. And there's this split second where both fear and greed both have their hand on the baton. What does that look like? That moment right there, when they both have their hands on the baton, and one is about to release. You can capture the market at that moment of transfer, that moment of a switch, moment of transition, moment of passing the baton from one emotion to the next. If you know what that looks like and can identify the various pictures that represent that, you're going to do well in this business. I've specifically taught you 7 pictures. 7 pictures of that moment. Your only job is to wait for these 7 pictures to show up. You don't have to know when they're going to show up. Just when they do, you strike. Granted, they have to occur in the right locations. But these transitional moments are the key to your success. How many of you have them written down? How many of you have my trading poker cards and have them laying out near your computer or in front of your computer every single morning, which helps to sear those transitional pictures, those transitional moments in your mind. This is not a game of buying stocks or companies. This is a game of buying fear and selling greed, and vice versa. This is a game of people. People move prices. The market doesn't have a life of its own. Its life is derived by the collective actions of the individuals and institutions that buy and sell. So it's a misnomer when you say that we play the market. No, we play people. For this reason, many people ask me, I should say, Oliver, what should I study to help me become a better trader? And I always say one thing: psychology. Most people are often confused by that. What do you mean psychology? I'm not talking about becoming a psychiatrist, Oliver. I'm talking about becoming a trader. I'm like, that's right. Study psychology. What do you mean? I shouldn't study finance, or I shouldn't study economics? I shouldn't study accounting? No. That'll only make you a worse trader. Study psychology. If you're going to study anything at all, you study psychology. Find out what makes human beings act, move, become fearful, become greedy, become ambivalent, become indifferent. Learn to read people, and if you learn to read people, you can read the market. Because once again, people move the markets. It's people's fear that drives markets down through their selling. It's people's greed that causes them to buy indiscriminately to drive markets up. So we're playing people. You guys understand this?